as we're speaking. They're just announcing that the players are about to come out. If we can just go to a live shot here and just breathe in the exact moment that all of these heroes come back from Budapest. And they're coming out dancing, all the PSG players.
Are these players?
James Vecina, I thought those were the players, but they are not quite. They are, it appears, the friends and family. It's also some PSG officials. What can you tell us?
Indeed. Part of them have come out so far. We've got Luis Enrique who's there, and indeed some of his entourage as well. Players then still waiting to come through, and there we go. We've got the chance to Luis Enrique. I don't know if I put the microphone to the chance, you might be able to hear a bit of it. But chance to Luis Enrique, and thank you to him for everything that he's done. We've got a chance all around the stadium happening, completely full, as mentioned, and now. Indeed, it seems like it's one player after the other that's coming through. That looks to me like Achraf Hakimi. Confirmed there by the shouts. Here he is then making his way through the tunnel. If you can see the screen behind me. So it is indeed, as Sean, you mentioned, it's going to be a one-by-one case. There he is there, the defender then. Instrumental to Paris Saint-Germain and their success. Wasn't sure how fit he was going to be for the final, and while it maybe wasn't his best game in there, he's been instrumental to them throughout the season. Here he is then making his way towards the centre stage to then join all the rest of the staff there.
You can see Achraf Hakimi there is an avid
high five here, high five there.
Once the fastest player in the Bundesliga. Could have played for both Morocco and Spain. And there he comes.
Look at Hernandez then coming through now. Coming through as well. Oh, Verando. As he makes his way as well through the tunnel to come and meet the rest of the team as well. So it's going to be a case of a one-by-one player from either side there for Paris Saint-Germain. Happening just at the right moment, because, you know, the chants were there, everybody had been here, we'd had the concerts and all happening, but really this was what, you know, we'd reached the climax of them needing to come out at this point as well.
James, thank you so much. I'll let you just rest a bit until
it's starting to get quite cloudy in here. We've had a few flares, and there's actually smoke machines as well, brought out by Paris Saint-Germain as well.
James, I'll let you go for a few seconds, just until we get to some of the more established stars, I guess. I mean, these are big stars already, Emily Boyle, but I just want you to take us into this moment right now. The players are coming out as second-time winners, a lot of them because they've kept the core structure of the team together. But as Thunder was mentioning, now you've also got up-and-coming players who weren't part of that, the likes of Zaire Emery, the likes of Barcola now in his second Champions League final, Desiree Doué as well. These youngsters are just creating a whole new platform and legacy.
Yeah, and actually I had the chance of being PSG reporter to see the under-19s UEFA finals, where they got kicked out of the semi-finals by Real Madrid on penalties actually. But watching that team of young talent, the class just before them, the year before them, had players like Zaire Emery and also Marin, the second goalkeeper. So it was their academy is absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure they'll be playing soon on the biggest stages now.
Second goalkeeper, you'd mentioned goalkeeper, that's Matvei Sovanov, the Russian goalkeeper who's just come on. And I mean, what a story for him, because he was not supposed to be the number one choice. In fact, it was Chevalier who was actually supposed to have the gloves, and what a moment for him.
Yeah, injured for half the season, but still got a call-up.
Sure.
From Didier Deschamps, so he will be representing France at the World Cup. At least he has some opportunity to salvage a performance that could have been with PSG.
But Safanov.
But Safanov's rising to the occasion, and I think it also speaks to the respect that we have said about the players, respecting that your time will come, and even when it's your time to walk off, do it gracefully. There doesn't seem to be any hostility. We haven't even heard any reports of hostility in the locker room, unlike somewhere in Madrid. But there's also just the camaraderie that they have within each other, that even Safanov could come in and still be accepted and given a warm welcome by the club, no matter the performance, and it's understood. And here is Kvaradona.
Number
What
7.
a song has he selected. I think that's also something I judge them all by.
We can't exactly hear all the words right now, but look at him just humbly there in his shorts. It's not quite as warm as it was this last week, but he certainly lit the place on fire. I mean, just Emily, 10 goals in a campaign from the wing position. That's astonishing stuff. And he has such an interesting gait as well, the way that he runs, and he's so direct. I mean, a phenomenal player that just gets you off your seat.
Yeah, he runs a little bit like a shorter Haaland. He's quite like cramped down, like quite hunched over. His centre of gravity is super low, but I think that gives him the ability of switching around on his feet really fast, and you can see how agile these players are. I mean, as athletes, to witness is just incredible, and to witness them in real life is even more impressive. Like when you're on the sidelines there and you can actually see them in front of you putting in those performances. I mean, the level of athleticism, they don't seem human, and this guy is one of those types of athletes. He's just so impressive. Fabian Ruiz putting in some good dance moves there.
Very much the fulcrum of that PSG midfield. Fabian Ruiz didn't play much in the league, but was very much brought in for the Champions League phase towards the end. Only scored 1 goal in the Champions League. Well, his first one was against Arsenal in last year's semi-final, Tando, but such an important player.
Very important. Yesterday, I think I was just a little bit upset because of that one incident where I felt like he was selfish, but I do think that we should give this man his flowers for the power that he's brought to the PSG midfield, supporting the likes of Vitinha, and who was actually exceptional yesterday in unlocking the attack when there were no offensive options for PSG. But if we're coming back to visuals, I'm trying to see who's coming on next, and
it's as much of a surprise for us as
Gonzalo Ramos.
Gonzalo Ramos.
Yep.
What a penalty he took to open up that penalty shootout for Paris Saint-Germain. With not much game time, Emily, what's it like to actually come into that pressure cooker of a situation and dispatch a penalty like he did?
Well, I can't imagine, but he dealt with the responsibility brilliantly. I mean, when it comes to penalties, it's more of a game of minds than it is of actual football. Like we know these guys know how to kick balls, but it's the mentality aspect is basically the deciding factor when it comes to penalties. I've heard that recent studies into the psychology of penalties suggest that the best way of dealing with the pressure is to actually get the coaches to give the players instructions on where to put the ball to relieve them of that pressure, but he didn't even seem to need that. I mean, he was as cool as a cucumber and just set PSG off to a really good start and put the pressure back on Arsenal, who probably didn't deal with it quite as well, and maybe that was the deciding factor. So absolutely stellar performance from him.
That's amazing stuff. Number 10, just after that back-to-back, Ousmane Dembélé, the Ballon d'Or holder currently. I don't know if he will get his hands on it again. There have been some suggestions. If France managed to go on and win the World Cup, Tando, could be his again. Perhaps, unfortunately for Kvaratskhelia, who was so sensational. But Ousmane Dembélé, what a humble man as well.
I always say he has an uncle demeanor, where he's a young man, but you're kind of obliged to respect him because of the way that he operates. He's got a legendary thing about him. He looks like a legend already in the way that he carries himself. I can see him going on to be something like a coach that we have a lot of respect for, leading some youth clubs, some youth teams. I do think that we can see some longevity when it comes from Ousmane Dembélé in football, and I think he's still got plenty to give.
It's amazing, and at least hopefully he's come through the worst of his injury problems from the season. It's amazing to think, Emily, that he was at Dortmund, such a rising star. It collapsed after a 160 million euro move to Barcelona, but now he's found his home very much, and it just shows you the right atmosphere, the right environment, and that's all you need. Let's just see who's next up on the screen. Number 14, Désiré Doué, the star of France to come.
Yeah, the star of France to come. Another young Frenchman who's going to be probably showing off all he has to show off at the World Cup. in the summer here. I mean, he's also been super key to that front three for Luis Enrique, and what a talent this guy. He's great with the ball, super dribbler, but also great vision, and he's been absolutely key to this campaign. He's rocking that cap there. But yeah, I think he's a brilliant player and just joyful to watch, and I look forward to seeing what he has to do at the World Cup this summer.
He's so young. If I just remind myself, he's
20 years old.
20 years old,
Yep.
and he was man of the match against Inter Milan when they won 5-0 last season in the final. And it just shows you, if you are good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, there's no, age is just a number, and you've seen a number of these young kids. Even if you look to Arsenal with Daumann being the youngest Premier League scorer at the ripe old age of 16, and then I think.
How do you feel?
Declan Rice, I feel rubbish. I feel like I've done nothing in my life. You had Declan Rice talking about how he was FaceTiming him and in his school uniform. So yeah, absolutely brilliant young talent in the world of football right now, and I can't wait to see their development for sure.
And now Vitinha, one of the classiest players that we have seen in many years. It's astonishing, Tando, to think that he was just languishing at Wolverhampton Wanderers before making the move to Paris Saint-Germain. And now, look at him go. I mean, very much one of Portugal's most important players coming up in the World Cup.
And man of the match last night. Man of the match in the final.
Second in the Ballon d'Or.
Thank you. So I just think when you look at it, and I think also you just look at the physical appearance of these players. I mean, you look at a guy like Vitinha, you wouldn't say that this guy will outrun you for 100 minutes solid and then get off the pitch without even breaking a sweat. And I think this is just, I don't even know, I don't have words for it, but I do think that he's definitely one exceptional player. But if you were speaking about him coming from Wolverhampton, what word did you use to describe him?
Languishing.
He was languishing in Wolverhampton. I think with this PSG setup, they kind of picked from the languishing guys, and I was actually asking myself where Kang In Lee was, because he was part of the 2023 project and the signings that happened during that summer or that season. He's also a player that kind of we didn't see as much of, but is definitely somebody who's capable. So I think that if he...
We'll see more of him at the World Cup as well this summer for South Korea, so yeah.
Kang In Lee, very much one of those midfield replacements that at least shores up the results for Paris Saint-Germain when they need it most.
And I think he got Ballon d'Or, like the Asian Ballon d'Or as well. So he's definitely like one to watch. He might not have had huge minutes this season at PSG, but definitely a very, very, very talented player.
Emily, I'm going to get to minutes with you. Sorry, Tando, if you will.
Yeah, I think also what you can do to get more out of players such as Kang In Lee, loan him out and see what he can do when he's in a different environment, what kind of options. We saw the same thing happen with Endrick coming to Lyon from Real Madrid on loan. He lit up the league, his confidence, he got a boost, he was playing in a different environment, he was able to be a little bit more creative. It challenged him to learn a little bit of French. It was very pleasant to see all those TikTok dances, a youthful element, and him finding his personality as well, because so much gets contributed to the game and the way that players are, and sometimes it's just a personality or finding yourself or your position in this squad. You kind of have to go somewhere else to find it here, or perhaps you'll just shine somewhere else.
Similarly to Lucas Hernandez, who was a mainstay at Bayern Munich before his move to Paris Saint-Germain, his brother Theo playing for AC Milan, and also on the plane to the United States for France in that defensive position. Finding your position, even if it is as a replacement after you've been a starter, it can be a bit humbling.
Yeah.
How do you consolidate that, Emily?
Well, I spent a season being benched after starting, but I was only 18 and it wasn't at PSG. But I can tell you that it's heartbreaking. So it is like a really tough mental challenge. These guys, though, especially in this team, if I wanted to be a substitute anywhere in the world, I want to be a substitute at PSG because they're so valuable and valued.
He did the celebration that he did after his goal last year in the final. He scored the fourth one, and that was the exact same way he celebrated.
Seni Mayalou, who was also one of those PSG graduates, just shows you how strong their academy is.
And could also be a very good super sub, because Emily, you were on the back foot of which club you would like to be coming on as a sub for.
Of course, and substitutes here in this club are so valued by Luis Enrique, and he was his club was one of the clubs with the highest rotation in the starting 11 in the Champions League this season. So he was, and especially in Ligue 1, where there was an average of like 6 changes per each like starting 11. So absolute huge rotation. So of course these guys, these substitutes have played much more than in other clubs. And I think if you had to grow in an environment, PSG is a kind of club like for young players, for players who are on the bench. If you want to come in clutch, you can come in clutch. If you want to start getting minutes as a young player, you can as well. So PSG is a great environment, if you ask me.
Brilliant. And also to become a player which no one really imagined before you moved there, like Nuno Mendes there. The only player to miss a penalty for Paris Saint-Germain in that shootout. But over the past 3 years, I would put him as the top left fullback in the world.
Yeah, and the most I've enjoyed watching him is in that game against Bayern Munich at the Parc de France, because he was up against Elise. And just seeing those two guys battle it out, it was artistry. It was the best duel I've ever seen. It was just brilliant. Like such a pleasure to watch these guys fight it out.
Yeah, and coming up against Michael Olise, Michael the dribbler Olise, the nonchalant guy, it's a tough time, and he was able to neutralize him. Well, not entirely, because he was not very far. But in the second leg, I do think that there was
a different element,
a very different element, and I did see a more defensive side come out of the PSG. And we have the second Fernandes. No. This is Fernandes, not Hernandez.
This is Fernandes.
Long day, guys.
Young 18-year-old Spaniard. Didn't get much game time. In fact, his last minutes were against Paris FC in the league. He played 45 minutes there in a 2-1 loss. But nonetheless, again, the youth coming through, and certainly one to look out for. He's got a huge future ahead of him, Dro Fernandes, at least in the Spain midfield. And it's just, again, it's not just the French. They really are branching out.
Definitely, and I think also we had a small talking point with the recruitment for PSG. And you know, you have some clubs which you can associate certain regions with. PSG is just kind of cast their net out wide. I mean, I spoke a little bit yesterday in defenses of both sides, for Arsenal and for PSG. They went to Ecuador for defense. So in the World Cup, I do think that we can definitely look out for the defensive structures, and that is in William Pacho and Incapié, who performed excellently yesterday.
I can't wait to bring that up.
But definitely, there's also Bradley Pacola who's coming out here. But in staying with the recruitment process of PSG and where they take their players from, I mean, just earlier you mentioned them finding Hernandez from Spain. Then you have some Ecuadorians in the mix. You have some locals in Paris. So they're really...
Bradley, the former
Bradley's got moves.
The former Lyon youth who moved to Paris in a big money move back in 2023, Bradley Barcola.
He's a big money move, and I do think that one thing that he struggled with in this season and perhaps the season before was finishing. Yesterday he was heavily criticized for the finishing, but I do think if we shift to a more positive element when we're looking at Bradley Barcola, I kind of call him the provider. And so I do think that if you have a finisher, like if you're putting him in a starting lineup with Ousmane Dembele, who is somebody who can make something out of nothing and make even more out of something, if you have a provider like Bradley Barcola, because did you see 2 of the runs that he made along the left wing in last night's game? And so for the criticism that he received yesterday, I don't necessarily think he deserved it. It's just that if you have a recurring problem of finishing and not getting the shots on targets, whether it's either yesterday it scraped the net, but the back end of the net, you just need a little bit more precision. And I do think that that's something Bradley Barcola, once he gets that, he's gone.
Oh, amazing stuff for the young forward. Well, there's Lucas Chevalier. He's in very high spirits.
Yeah.
All things considered, he was supposed to be the goalkeeper from Lille to command that area after Gianluigi Donnarumma departed Paris Saint-Germain. But full credit to Luis Enrique once again for keeping the spirit in the side, especially with a man who does consider himself a number 1, Emily.
Yeah, I mean, it must not be easy, but he's still really young and has a lot of potential. He can still grow and become one of the starters. So I have no doubts for him. And sometimes, he can start afresh, and next season maybe the World Cup will get some more experience for him under high pressure environments. So there's definitely room for him to grow and find his place. And you've got another academy or young player, at least, Juan Zaire, who is an academy player.
He played the most minutes out of any
played
PSG
the most
player.
minutes. Yeah, he was and he played the most minutes, but yesterday he didn't start. which was interesting. And Luis Enrique was talking about that, about how he wasn't sure that was the right decision that he had made himself. But when he did come on, you could see that he wasn't bothered, as we say, like another example of someone putting their ego aside. And I think he's definitely a key element in this team.
And he's put his ego aside also positionally, because when Hakimi has been injured, he's been moved from midfield into a fullback position, and he's done so with absolute distinction.
Yeah, absolute class. And a lot of these players are super versatile. I mean, we were talking about it yesterday, but a number of players playing out of position and doing so extremely well, another testament to how they're being coached.
But I think taking it back to the goalkeeping department, when Lucas Chevalier came out and you mentioned Donnarumma, those were very big shoes to fill, because if we're talking about the shiny signings, I would put Donnarumma as one of them for PSG.
Flamboyant as well.
Exactly, and it's the Italian style. But also to have a player like that leave, I just also think it speaks to the confidence that Luis Enrique has in these players, Safanov, sticking with the goalkeeping department, the respect that he put on them, that I'm not going to make a shiny signing. When we look on paper, when you check the data statistics, filling in the shoes of Donnarumma would be a very huge task, but he did it with what he had, and he made it work and went and were able to be back-to-back champions. Obviously not with a defensive record like Arsenal, where they went unbeaten in their whole campaign, but where it mattered, he rose to the occasion. And just the way that he moves in his spaces, I just think he's got a Spider-Man-esque kind of movement. He's not the stockiest or heaviest goalkeeper, especially if you're going to compare him to Donnarumma, and they're probably only 4 or 5 centimeters apart. You wouldn't tell just by looking from far. But he doesn't necessarily have that physical command in the box as much as you would have if you were comparing with a Neuer or even a Donnarumma.
Absolutely.
We were even talking about that situation yesterday, and that first goal by Kai Havertz in the 6th minute. We were talking about it yesterday, that we thought, maybe, what would have Neuer have done in that situation? You know, like if you want to ask about one of the goalkeeping goats, what would he have done? And we were saying that we think he probably would have stayed high and made himself big in that in the box, and maybe that comes with experience. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But,
earlier on, I mentioned the 18-year-old player who is going to be coming up front, and definitely somebody we should look out for in offense, and it's Quinton Njantu. He hasn't really featured as much, but I do think that, like Seni Mayulu, he's definitely one that we can look out for. He's going to have to prove himself, because also when you're coming into a club like PSG, there's a lot that comes with it. There is the status, there is all of that. So you need a level-headed player, because when we're looking at Project 2023, of all the players who were signed on, the one player that's not here is Kolo Muani. What happened? He also got left out of the Didier Deschamps squad, the French national team that got called, that is going to be representing France in the World Cup. So you ask yourself these questions, and it obviously seems to be a system that's built on meritocracy that Luis Enrique is running here. And so it's more on if you perform, then that's how you get game time. So another youngster, Ibrahim Mbaye, Senegalese international, I do think also in the World Cup he's definitely somebody that we should definitely look out for up front.
Such amazing depth there, especially with the youngsters. And I think as anyone who's a parent in the Paris region is going to say, I mean, this just bodes so well in terms of the excitement of saying that, there could be a chance for my child to actually make this step up.
so you have a child. Is this a new project in Bambi that you've got on the cards here?
100% not.
You're announcing, watch out, in 16 years' time your daughter's going to be starting for PSG.
No, but it is so brilliant also just to involve the youth like this, and just so that they can get a taste of what it means to be part of a Champions League winning squad. That ethos, that determination and that drive, it's one thing for a senior player to have it and to experience it, but then they can pass it down. Does that stay with you as a youngster all throughout your career, knowing what that winning feeling is like?
Yeah, I think so, and these are all players who've had successes quite young, and as I said, I got the chance to watch Les Titi, as they're known, the academies of PSG, and they all come from clubs in the Paris region. So even if you think at just Paris, here we have William Pacho, if you look at just Paris, there are so many clubs that have their own academies that feed into the PSG academy. So this area is such a brilliant breeding ground for young players, and the level of football is so competitive. So even when they're 18, 19, 20, the level of football that they're playing, and the also how many expectations they're having to put up with, and the way they have to conduct themselves and evolve in a professional environment, these are like the best drilled football players and young minds that you could possibly
And they can
find.
learn off the likes of William Pacho, the defender who signed from Frankfurt in 2024, wears number 51 on the back of his shirt to honor his late mother who died at that age. He was the first Ecuadorian to win the Champions League. Started as a striker in his youth, actually, before making it as one of the top defenders. And exactly what you said, Tando, is why we have to watch Ecuador's defense in the World Cup. They are the team to get through.
We can say that considering what they have on paper, especially if you have two defenders who are playing in the Champions League final, one on their one side, Hincapié, like I mentioned. And actually, a little anecdote, they played against each other yesterday, and they played against each other in the under-20 side back in Ecuador. And so definitely something to look out for, but
João Neves.
You were saying this was one of the players that you thought came in was the most important yesterday, Tando, João Neves.
yeah, he was definitely clutch.
Clutch is the
He
favourite word.
came in clutch.
Came in clutch.
Because of all the midfield that was selected or that started yesterday, he was the one who played 120 minutes from start to end.
I don't suppose we're going to see him do another one of those somersaults now as he celebrates.
Nah, the
my
tired
God.
legs.
If he
yeah.
still had
He
those
must have gone
legs.
through some
Destroyed
cryotherapy.
after that.
Yeah.
Where's the number 87? It's unconventional, but he said it was just his favourite option when he broke into the Benfica first team, and now has it still when he signed for Paris Saint-Germain. James Vecina, you are at the Parc des Princes. You've just seen João Neves. Just fill us in.
Yeah, we've had almost all players now on the centre stage. They've been coming out one by one in the tunnel there. And, it's calming down now. And João Neves, indeed, having just come through. I think there's one player missing on all this. Oh, no, it's not the person who I was thinking of. I was thinking of Marquinhos, who's set to surely be... I'm trying to understand what the logic is behind, the way in which the players are coming through. Haven't quite figured it out yet. But we're still a couple away. And after that, of course, you can imagine it's going to be Marquinhos with the trophy coming through after that to be able to complete the full squads and all the entourage in the centre podium. We've had goalkeepers, we've had defenders, we've had midfielders, we've had forwards as well. And now it's just a matter of just a few more coming through. Each one having a little dance on their way to the centre stage there. And everybody, every time, every player's coming through, we get their name shouted, and as you can see, got the pyrotechnics going with some fireworks going up every time behind me. It's all a big show here, and definitely Paris Saint-Germain taking on the biggest show that they've ever done before. These are new heights for them, new territory, so exploring something here, and it's definitely working with supporters. Absolutely jam-packed here, 48,000 of a crowd in here, and many of them being season ticket holders in here. So it really is, those who've been supporting them this whole time, who've been have the privilege to come in as some of the first here. And I think there you go. There we have it. Big old ears there. The trophy with to its left, Marquinhos, the captain, and Paris Saint-Germain's president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, to the side of him. And the trophy then is being carried through the tunnel. Wait for this. This is going to be epic. They can't see it yet. Neither can we. Here we go. Just a couple of meters away from me. And now the crowds are erupting. Actually, there's a lot of telephones that are out. And when there are phones out, well, people can't shout at the same time. So that was a little bit of an anticlimax, I've got to be honest with you. There's a lot of telephones out. I know that it's normal that people want to capture the moment. I get it. But it has kind of calmed things down. And then they make their way through them. Nasser Al-Khelaifi, of course, who is the, not mastermind in a way, but he's the man who's overseeing absolutely everything that's been going on ever since he joined, of course, from the Qatari investment funds, together with them.
James,
and there you have it.
We can see the images. It's brilliant stuff of Marquinhos and Al-Khelaifi.
And we have flares. Wow. On either side, we've got the ultras on either side of me, with flares having been lit up on either side. Really is pretty spectacular. And I don't know if perhaps Georges can show us the number of flares that have erupted just here. I don't know how much you can see from there. Wow, it's lit up, the stadium. Really is really impressive. And now we've got the president who's going to have a word.
This is
He's just
Alexander
taken the
Seferin
microphone.
right now with the microphone, the president of UEFA, obviously the sponsors of the UEFA Champions League, and he's handed it over to Nasser Al-Khelaifi, the PSG president of Qatari Sports Investment Group. Just waving to an adoring crowd there, James. Nasser Al-Khelaifi, he's soaking it all in. Very much part of his project, the PSG 2023. And he's very much taking the plaudits. You'll always see Nasser Al-Khelaifi next to Alexander Seferin at any of these events. But now he's waving to a crowd which is absolutely exploded into life.
And there you go. Now you've got the whole squad there dancing on stage. Immensely proud, as you say there. I mean, it was never a given for Khelaifi. He's had pressure on his shoulders this whole time. He's had a lot of pressure. Last year was the biggest pressure of all because, you know, he came in and he made it clear that, you know, Qatar, their aim, taking over, the Qatari Investment Fund, their aim was to win the Champions League. It was kind of, you know, laughed at for quite a long time because Paris Saint-Germain were exiting early, way early on. In the tournament, never actually really making it. They did make it to the final in 2020, but apart from that, it was, you know, a bit of a running joke as to, you know, the ambitions that they had and the amount of money that had been thrown into the club, and you know, they're still confident about it. But for him to have won a double, I don't think he'd have imagined that. I think last year was absolutely huge for them, but to, you know, come back and do it again, he can only enjoy this moment as everybody else is here.
We're going to be expecting that trophy lift anytime, just after a few words from Nasser Al-Khelaifi right now. But the celebrations are still ongoing. Even the players, they're not letting him have it. It is a mosh pit, isn't it, Emily? It's brilliant stuff. James, I'm going to let you go just while we watch these scenes. Thank you so much. And just come back to you as soon as we can catch our breaths for a bit of a recap. But look at all of this unfolding right now. James Messina, thank you so much. Emily, just... set it all up for us. This is fantastic.
Got a little bit of mosh pit action there. I hope that none of them get injured before the World Cup, knowing that there are 14 PSG players going to the World Cup. The national team coaches must be looking at that in absolute panic. But I think they're going to let him speak now a little bit. But yeah, what scenes of joy there at the Parc des Princes this evening.
It seems like it is just calming down a little bit. We can hear from him, Nasser Al-Khelaifi. I'm sure he's going to...
Starting another mosh pit again.
There's another mosh pit. It just carries on.
You'd think that they still had legs on them, these guys. Like, look at them still jumping after the final that they played yesterday. Absolutely incredible.
Maybe it just speaks to how many minutes they've played compared to other people. I'm not sure that the Arsenal players are jumping around like this.
They have 7,000 minutes on their legs compared to this.
I mean, I didn't play 120 minutes yesterday. I've just been reporting on it, sitting in a chair at a desk. And I'm fatigued, so I can only imagine how these guys are feeling. They haven't seen their families, they still have to actually drink this up. Like, this is a moment shared with the public. They still have to go home and actually lay in bed with your medal, with your kids, with your family, still go through all the brides, all the press conferences, all the everything, interviews if you can, preparations already for those who are going to the World Cup. You have to head on over to camp and get ready for that, and there they go again. I just think, yeah, let them
designed the
suck it up.
choreography for this? I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's some of the best dancing you'll see at the Parc des Princes.
Yeah, there's quite some talented dancing there, putting out all the moves. We saw James even bopping his head along to these chants, so the vibes must be impeccable in that stadium.
It's a good time. I mean, I went to a game once and I was in the side of the ultras because I had got access to that seating. Oh, guys, it's unmatched. And so you can imagine there's no game, there's no action happening, but it's just full-on ultra energy being thrown to the middle, and plus just the excitement from winning the Champions League for a second time. It looks like he's starting to speak.
Are the words going to come out of Nasser?
He's going to get ambushed.
Yeah, someone wants to start another
This
one.
player is just about to start again, but I think they're being held back now.
There we go.
Back again.
I wonder who the instigator of the mosh pit is. Who would you guess in the PSG squad is the most mosh pit-esque person?
Desiree Doué.
Desiree Doué.
He's Desiree, and he does. He Doué. Yes, absolutely.
He seems to be a person with a lot of personality, like he has fun with the game.
Yeah.
Because even when they called up to Clairefontaine in the camps for the French national team, he's there with the tradition of the chantage, where they kind of take the mic and they create a nice little song about each other. He did a really solid one on on Dembele. Dembele seems to be the uncle, but also he's got quite the personality on him. He cracks the jokes, but secretly, like he hides. So I just think he's also got the character to kind of say, Desiree, go and do it. So not necessarily that he would be jumping first, but he's the instigator. Yeah.
Well, now that's it, is instigating his speech. If we can't just hear from him, it is in French. Unfortunately, the quality that we can hear is just not enough to catch those words, but very much just thanking for all the support. That's exactly why he's getting all the applause there. Thanking each and every one of the staff members of Luis Enrique, Luis Campos, the director, and of course the fans for an historic journey. The 14 times French champions, now the 2 times Champions League winners, only the second team since Real Madrid in this Champions League era to win 2 in a row. Wax lyrical about it all night, and it seems like the atmosphere has heightened up and heated up to such a point where everyone can take off their tops as well. Rockstar scenes. We're just waiting for that glorious trophy lift, of course. That is going to be etched into the minds of all of those PSG supporters for years to come. More words from Nasser Khalifi. Just looking ahead to the man that's going to be lifting that trophy alongside him, Marquinhos. Another very special moment for him as Nasser Khalifi hands the microphone back now to the captain of the football club. Marquinhos, the longest serving player at Paris Saint-Germain. 14 years at the helm, not as many as captain. Holds the record for the most Ligue 1 titles by a player in French football history. He's also the longest foreign serving player of all time for Paris Saint-Germain. Excellent back and forth between the players and the fans, and it's something that we've become so accustomed to from the side of Boulogne to the side of Ote, both sides of the stadium, just filling in with those players. What an ambience, what a sense of togetherness at Tando.
Yeah, and you can also drag some energy from the Roland Garros Stadium, which is not too far, actually, less than 500 meters away. Actually, beautiful center that's going on there by Boulogne-Billancourt. And it's really cool that Paris Saint-Germain were able to bring some more liveliness to the environment. So it might be a little bit of a shocker for the tennis supporters who are more akin to a more silent kind of environment. What is this chaos?
Very much still ongoing, even as we speak right now, just a couple of 100 meters away from this very stadium. This is what Tando's referring to. Here is Marquinhos, the captain, who's about to get his hands onto the trophy for the second time as the winning captain. Well, I don't think it's going to happen too soon, though, not with those kind of teammates. And Tando, before he speaks, I just want to say a big thank you so much, because you have guided us through all of these celebrations, and unfortunately I do believe it is time to let you go. But thank you once again. It's been an absolute privilege just to hear all of your commentary. We will see you, of course, in the World Cup, hopefully, and well, what a moment. Go out and enjoy the Paris streets.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm definitely going to celebrate. This is a large moment for football. It's a huge moment for sport. I'm really happy for them that they could achieve it, because they look like they deserve it. A bunch of winners, man.
Bunch of winners. Tando Sibia, thank you so much. We're going to head to James right now. James Messina at the Parc des Princes. Give us everything you've got, James.
It's going absolutely wild here. I mean, these are scenes that I don't know when the last time I've ever seen anything of this level in the stadium. It's incredible. We've just had Marquinhos then just have a speech after the club's president, and also, you know, backing all supporters and thanking them for everything in there. And he's just been thrown in the air. I mean, maybe like 7-8 times by his teammates. And now, who's been chucked in the air? I think it is Halifi himself. The president's been thrown up in the air by the players there. You saw everyone dance. He was the only one who perhaps, you know, kept a little bit of, you know, serious, let's say, staying in line in a way. Say again, John.
I'm going to stop you right now, because we've just seen those images of Al Khalifi, and we're about to see the images of the trophy lift itself.
Yeah, incredible.
There you go, James. Paris Saint-Germain, Champions League winners for the second time in a row.
Absolutely incredible. And now we've got it all going. Are you still there, Jean?
Still there. Tell us
there.
all about it. Tell us all about it. How are the fans reacting? They just saw the trophy hoisted into the air.
Oh, we've got the fireworks coming out of the roof. Yeah, we've got the fireworks coming out of the roof now of the stadium. It's getting quite warm here. It was already quite warm. I can feel the heat from all the pyrotechnics here. And looks like the players are getting ready for something. I'm guessing they're going to have go around the pitch in celebration. Wow. This is incredible. I don't know how much you guys can see back there, but we've got fireworks coming all across from around the stadium, from the roof, and again, getting the heat here. A lot of phones been taken out here to admire to keep a memory of the spectacle. It's incredible. Wow. I can't hear you. I can barely hear myself speak. From the noise, from the fireworks, the noise from the crowds. And the players wow. Do you hear that? I think that is it for the fireworks for now. So the players are coming back down here. Coming our way, Marquinhos, trophy in hand. I know he must have good biceps, because that must be pretty heavy. He's been carrying it since last night almost now. And they're going to stop here and go for a team squad photo now.
James,
We've got all the photographers to my left here running right now to
let go of that
capture
trophy.
the picture there. Yes.
I don't think he's ever going to let go of that trophy, but James, that's where we're going to have to wrap it with you, and that's where we're going to have to wrap it with this special covering the trophy parade of Paris Saint-Germain. So just once again, I'm going to just leave with these images. We've got Emily Boyle with one last comment of what has happened this evening. Emily, a moment in history for Paris Saint-Germain.
Football fans live for. I mean, moments like this is what this sport is all about. Joy, being together, celebrating achievements, and especially when it goes to such a beautiful bunch of football players. I don't know, I couldn't be happier. It's been such a pleasure watching them celebrate and watching them play, and it's a great conclusion to the season.
What a brilliant conclusion. And now in just 11 days time, it's the World Cup. We can't wait. Emily is going to bring that all for us here at our France 24 studios in Paris. But we're going to leave you with these images for now. Paris Saint-Germain, Champions League winners 2026.